Okay, I think first of all, hard-fought game. Tip my cap to Oklahoma. That was a nice win for them to battle back at the end the way that they did. I think one thing I never question about our group and these guys here is their fight, their resiliency, and they absolutely displayed that today when we didn't play our best football today. We turned the ball over 3 times. We didn't create any turnovers. We had 9 penalties, which was very uncharacteristic for us. 1 of 3 in the red area. And in the end, I think they had 5 sacks or something. And so, and then, our inability to corral the quarterback and his legs really hurt us there, scrambling, especially in the second half. So that was not our best football. But in the end, not playing our best football, the connectivity that these guys have with one another, their fight, their resiliency gave us an opportunity to take the lead late. We just couldn't finish the game. So the promising thing is I know we can play better than we played today, and we will. But we need to coach better. We need to play better than we did today. And we got to take it one game at a time moving forward now. So proud of the guys, proud of the way they battled and competed. But we need to play better football if we want to be the team that I know we're capable of being.
Once again, raise your hands. We'll get a wireless mic around for you.
Jalen and Coach, y'all can both answer this. The toughest thing about Dylan Gabriel playing him today with his running ability, what was it?
His running ability.
I think for him, just extending the plays, being able to, if his reads weren't there, able to use his legs and then find somebody open. I think he did a good job of that, especially going down there, towards the end of the game. He was able to extend the play with his legs, and he just made good plays.
Front row here.
Steve, the issues in the red zone, obviously last week you didn't really want to get too much into that this week. Over here, Steve, on your other side. The issues in the red zone last week, obviously, you didn't want to touch it following the win. Just where do you stand on those things this week, and how do you address that going into the bye week?
We got to game plan better, and we got to execute better. It's pretty simple.
Front row here.
Steve, before Burke kicked that field goal late, did you consider at all sending your offense back out, or was that just to, kind of draw them off?
We were trying to draw them off sides. It was a 4th and 4. If we could draw them off and steal a first down right there, that was the attempt. But if you have an opportunity to take a lead in a tie game with a minute and 20 seconds to go, you got to take that opportunity. And we did. It was a heck of a kick, good execution. It's a nice drive to get that opportunity. And then, unfortunately, we just couldn't get a stop coming back.
Front center.
Steve, you had the fake punt early. You went for it on 4th down 3 times in the first half. Was that a product of being down early, or was that something that you were kind of thinking about going into the game that you would
No, that was part of the plan. We thought we had a couple things there that we could execute. The fake punt, the guys executed really well. Some of the 4th downs that we went for, we felt good about the calls that we had. So it was not a byproduct of the way the game was going. We didn't play a great first quarter, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We thought we found a little more rhythm offensively after, from the second quarter moving on. But we were a little out of sorts early, but that didn't change kind of the mindset coming into the game.
Front row left.
Steve, you said you didn't play your best football today. Do you feel like there's any real reason for that, or just Oklahoma just played that well today?
No, some of it was a little frustrating because it was just out of character for us, and that's the hard part as a coach, that I have to drill back down into of how do I make sure that I have our guys, really ready to go play. And I felt really good about it. I really did. And these guys will tell you, I told them the same thing. But that's the life of a competitor and a football team. When you're not at your best, can you find a way to win? And like I said, I thought our guys showed a lot of fight and grit and resiliency to put ourselves in position to win a game when we weren't at our best against a good football team. And we did that. And so I was really proud of them for that. I was proud of their ability to fight back when we weren't playing great, when the game was kind of slanted. We were kind of playing uphill there for a while. And to get all the way back to have the lead the way that we did, that took a lot of resiliency from this group, and I credit them a lot for that.
Second row on the right.
for Jade and Jalen, after you guys got that late field goal, what was going through your mind, and how disappointing is it for what you gave up, not only on that last drive, but throughout this game as a defense?
Jalen, go first, please.
Yeah, so we got the field goal. In my head, I was telling the guys on the sideline, let's go get a stop. We knew they needed to either kick a field goal or score a touchdown. So I think my mentality was just, try to make a play. And then, after seeing that they did get a touchdown, I think for me, after the game is just kind of, I was out there, I think, every snap of the game. So for me, just analyzing what I could have done myself, to go out there and contribute to help us, change the tide and, end up winning the game. So, all I can do now is just look back and get better with the rest of my guys.
We kicked the field goal, and in my head, I'm like, this is the moment you live for. One thing Coach Sark hits on for us, we do 2-minute drill all the time. So, he put us in position for this time right here, and we just didn't execute when we're supposed to. Back row standing.
Coach, how much did Oklahoma's up-tempo offense affect the defensive line rotation throughout the game?
Well, it's difficult when, we subbed when you have opportunities to sub. The rules kind of dictate when you can and can't sub when a team's going no huddle. So when the ball's in the middle of the field and they're going fast, you kind of have to live with the guys that are out there, and it's a little bit tougher to sub. We got some subs done, which was good for us. But I don't, really that wasn't so much of the issue. Was kind of some of the execution of our pass rush lanes, which in the end, when you let any quarterback go forward in the pocket when you're in coverage for that long and then have the ability to run, it's difficult. We didn't do a great job of forcing him lateral and building a wall inside. And Gabriel took advantage of that with his legs and made some really critical third down scrambles for them, and then obviously the really long one there later in the game. So, part of it is I got to go look at the tape and figure out why that happened. Where did we miss? Were we off on some stunts and different things? But I think our guys are in plenty good enough condition to withstand if they have to stay on the field. And again, we played in a lot tougher, more difficult kind of circumstances with the heat throughout the season. So today's weather was great. So I felt good about the rotation or lack thereof that we had in the game.
Third row on the left.
Quinn, obviously Oklahoma's been good at getting interceptions this season. What did they do, particularly in that first quarter, that was difficult to deal with?
Yeah, it just didn't start how I wanted to. And it's always tough whenever you get on the first two drives, so 2 interceptions. But I'm glad the way we bounced back, and they started throwing some different looks at us and trying to confuse us. But just proud of the way we stayed and fought.
We're going to be third row on the right here.
Quinn, on that last drive that you had, it looked like the plan was to score a touchdown, right? And then when did that change to kind of putting yourself in field goal position, especially that third down play, fourth down play?
Yeah, we were trying to go down and score, obviously, and to continue to run the clock out, so we had the ball last. And then ultimately it didn't work out like that. So, we got a lot of faith in our field goal unit, and they went out and, kept the game rolling.
Front row center.
Yeah, Steve, you dominated the fourth quarter. Their defense looked tired. Their offense didn't do much. Then in the last, whatever it was, 75 seconds, all of a sudden they came alive. Any explanation for the way the energy part of the game seemed to switch?
Yeah, no, I think that, momentum is a delicate thing, and when you have momentum, it's great. And it can take a couple plays, and literally they hit 2 passes to start that drive, and they were already across the 50. And so they felt the momentum swung quickly in their favor. They made a couple throws and a couple catches, broke a couple tackles, and then they get the pass interference call down there, right about the 5 or 6 yard line. That the momentum swung that quickly. They were in their crowd area and the things of that nature. So that was unfortunate because we had the momentum. It was a difficult deal. To go back to Quinn's question, because it's kind of not fair to ask him that when he's not calling it and he's on the field. So we were trying to go score. We were trying to make sure we had the last possession. The second down call there, we had called an RPO, and we were blocking the run. Quinn was getting ready to throw an RPO, and the guy came off and made the sack. So at that point, it put us in a 3rd and long. A 3rd and long with like about a minute and something left, and I wanted to ensure we were in good field goal range, because if I throw a pass there and it doesn't work out, now we're out of field goal range, and ultimately to get the lead and to try to win the game, that's what we're trying to do. So we ran the ball there on 3rd down, and we got to 4th and 4. And then you got to make that decision, and to get a lead was what we tried to do. We tried to draw them off to see if that could keep us on the field. It didn't work, and then we kicked the field goal. So the mindset shifted on one play, really. I think all along was we're going to finish the game with the ball in our possession. Whether we score, whether we kick a field goal, whatever it looks like, we were going to end the game with our possession. We got a little off kiltered there after 2nd down.
Front room center again.
Quinn, last year you guys scored 49 and could have scored a whole lot more. What was different about this Oklahoma defense, and did it surprise you, the remarkable improvement from last year to this?
Yeah, I mean, each team each year is going to be different, obviously, and I think this year they got a lot more confidence in themselves. And they had some guys back that weren't able to play last year. But it's hard to look back on last year. When we're focused on this year. But yeah, I mean, they were a better defense than last year, obviously.
Back row on the left.
Steve, you'll know more after looking at the tape, but just initial impression on the offensive line play today, especially with the loss of Jake Majors.
Yeah, I mean, it's always difficult when you lose your center as early as we did, and I commend Connor Robertson stepping in. First time he's in real action like that. And so, that was difficult. I think, we had a couple breakdowns in there. Again, I don't know exactly where they were coming from. And it felt earlier rather than later. But hey, that's a good defense, and to go out and have 527 yards essentially in 3 quarters. So gosh, I sure wish we would have played pretty good football in the first quarter, and what could that have looked like. So I know what we're capable of, and we're going to be fine up front. And after the guy throws 2 picks on his first 2 drives, he goes 31 of 37 for 346 yards. So I think we've got a formula for success that'll work for us, and the O-line's going to be fine, and that part we just we got to minimize some of the mistakes like we had today early in the ball game.
Second row on the left.
Coach, the strength of this defense has been the red zone this entire season, and Oklahoma capitalized on the red zone all 6 times today. What were they presenting that was different, and what kind of went wrong there?
Well, I thought they did a good job of utilizing the quarterback's legs on the first touchdown. They kind of had the +1 run where Gabriel had the touchdown there. And again, I thought we showed a lot of resiliency on a couple of those drives inside the 5. They score the one on the 3rd down. We were hanging in there. We just couldn't keep them out. And then the last one I think is a busted coverage. I got to exactly look at the tape, but I think we didn't guard the guy. So that's unfortunate when you just don't guard them. So they took advantage of mistakes, and that ultimately is a lot of what football is, right? 2 good teams play. When one team makes a mistake, can you capitalize on that error and on that mistake? And I would say today in the red area, I got to go look at it all, but it felt like they capitalized on areas when maybe we weren't as right as where we needed to be, whether it was a run fit or in coverage.
We have time for 2 more. We're going to go front center and then second row.
Steve, do you expect to be playing Oklahoma again this year?
Well, I expect us to get back on the horse. We got a locker room full of competitors. This is a tight-knit group. I'm super proud of them for what they bring every single day. I was proud of them today. And so we'll go one game at a time. I think this locker room is full of champions, and our goal is to go win a championship this year. So we got to go handle our business.
Last question will be second row on the left.
Coach, first and goal from the 1, you have Tavondre and Byron Murphy in there. What were you seeing from there, and what as far as maybe some of the breakdowns and not being able to score there?
We take a lot of pride in our goal line package. It's been very effective for us over the years, and we wanted to do what we do, and execute the plan that we had, and we thought we had a good plan. I think the first down play looked like the linebacker kind of shot the gap. Why we didn't block him, it's hard to tell. The second down play, the play kind of got strung out a little bit. The third down play looked like internal, kind of just penetration again. And then on fourth down, we went to a play that we felt really good about. Bang, bang, right? We don't score by about 4 inches, so it was a tough play for Xavier and, trying to get in right there. So we got to reevaluate. And that's why I said at the very beginning, we need to coach better and we need to play better.